Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And we are long overdue for an updated workout routine video. If you guys have been around my channel for a long time, I think I've done 2 other workout routine videos that I've shared with you guys, but I'm constantly reviewing activewear on this channel and clearly love working out. So I do often get asked what my workout routine is, if I sell programs, if I'm a trainer, etc. And we should start this out by saying I am not a personal trainer. I have no interest in training people. I do think I have a pretty good amount of knowledge of training. I am a dentist, which involved a lot of learning about human anatomy in general. So this video is not going to be selling you any sort of programs. Actually, I'm going to be giving away my program for free. I love to do this to give back to you guys. I personally have never spent the money on a personal trainer. And I know you guys are very smart and you just need a little bit of guidance in order to do this on your own. So I will be sharing my own workout routine for free. Again, I'm not a personal trainer. This is just like a general guide of what I like to do. A little bit of background on my workout history. I started lifting weights around 2017, 2018, and up until last year, I was exclusively weight training in the gym about 3 to 4 days a week. So no cardio and nothing additional to that, just 3 to 4 days of lifting. My goal with my workouts has always been just truly to have fun and have a good time. I've always kept it simple. I've never done a bulk, never done a cut. I've never really had aesthetic goals with my training. I think this is what allowed me to be so consistent with my training over the past several years. If you are going to set an aesthetic goal, I think that is completely fine, but I think it can lead to a lot of frustration when you don't reach that goal in a certain amount of time or ever. You could literally copy everything I'm doing in terms of food, exercise, lifestyle, and we will still look like 2 entirely different people because we are 2 entirely different people. So I think the best workout routines are ones that you actually enjoy doing and you look forward to doing, because those are going to be the routines you can stick with long term. And that is what fitness is all about: staying healthy over a lifetime, being able to do this long term, making your body healthy, helping your body support you so that you can be active for your entire life. Anyways, we are due for a new workout routine because within the last year, I did decide to switch up my routine. I've been working as a dentist for about 2 years now. So ever since I got out of school, my schedule definitely changed a good amount. People always ask me how I manage everything being a dentist and doing social media. And I'm like, I feel like no one ever asked me that when I was in school. And arguably that was like more time. Like now I just get to work and come home. I don't have to go to school for 8 hours and then study for like 6 more hours. So if anything, I have more time now. With that added time in my schedule now, I didn't want to really add any more lifting days because I think 3 to 4 days of lifting is really enough. So around last spring, summer is when I made the decision to start running. I have a whole running journey video if you guys want to learn more about why I started running, how it's going. But for years, I didn't do any cardio in my workout routines because I really didn't need to, but I do really value my overall health. I always kind of felt jealous of the people who could just like go on a run and make it look really easy. And honestly, it made me feel kind of out of shape. So I was like, you know what? I've always been bad at running, so I'm gonna make myself better at running. And I also started doing a weekly group fitness class, and it's kind of like my little weekly treat for myself. It's like my little me time. It's a little treat, and it helps me train in ways that I wouldn't normally do. So without further ado, let's get into my current 2025 workout routine. So the overall structure of my routine is 3 days of lifting. These are all full body strength focused weight training days. Then I have 2 run days, 1 group fitness class day. For the past like 3 months, I've been doing solidcore, and I'll get into that. And then I have 1 full rest day. If you plan to follow this same routine, I'm actually not really suggesting you follow exactly my routine because we are all at different phases of life. You may just be watching this for fun. Maybe you're watching this for a little bit of inspo, but if anything, I'm going to be sharing my lifting workouts so you guys can follow along those because I know those can get a little bit tricky. So the first section is my lifting routine, and something that has not changed over the years. I am still doing my push focused, pull focused, full body workouts. If you haven't tried a full body workout, you're missing out because I have not done a dedicated leg day in years. And I really feel like my workouts are so much more effective because I'm not fully loading my entire lower body on one day and then my upper body on another day and just exhausting it. So full body workouts are what I've been doing for years. It allows me to hit all of the muscle groups at least 1, maybe 2 times per week. I focus on compound movements and my workouts are very efficient. I can be in and out in about 50 minutes. And something I've learned over my years of lifting is you really don't need to overcomplicate things. It's literally okay if you're in the gym for 30 minutes. If you do 3 3 exercises. That's still better than nothing, and you can still see improvement working out for short periods of time. So if 50 minutes seems too long for you, just do a little bit less. A little bit more info on how I break down my workouts. So I do 2 types of full body days. I do a push focused full body day and then a pull focused, because doing all of it in one day was just too much. So I break it up into 2 days that hit different muscle groups. The pushed focus days are all of your kind of pushing type movements. So pushing, and then also squatting. So the muscle groups I hit on my push focus full body days are chest, triceps, shoulders, quads, and glutes. And then on my pull focused full body days, you're hitting back and biceps, and then the whole posterior chain and hamstrings. I call those like my deadlift days. With all of my workouts, I start with my heaviest compound movements first. You'll see on my pull days, I always start out with my pull-ups, because if I save those for the end of my workouts, I would not be doing very well. Then we do the lighter accessory movements towards the end. I always rest for about 2 minutes between each set. I've always been told to rest on average between like 90 seconds to 4 minutes, but beyond 2 minutes gets a little bit excessive. So I just rest for about 2 minutes. I do about 3 working sets for all of my exercises. And each set I do about 6 to 8 or 8 to 10 reps. And I'm trying to hit failure at that final rep. That means I really can't do any more reps after that. And I also like to track the weight I use for every set and every exercise. And to make your life easier, I have an app suggestion. This is not sponsored. Ian actually introduced this app to me probably like 5 or 6 years ago, like literally when I started working out, and I've used this app for every single workout for years. It's called the Strong app. And what this app does is you can create your own workouts, or you can save my workouts, which I will be sharing down below. So you can just like have the templates already, but you can have workout templates. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna click on one of the templates and it shows all of the exercises that you have that day. And again, you can make your own workout templates as well. Then you're just gonna click start workout, and it's going to have all of the exercises and all of the sets. And what's great about it is it saves the last weight that you used. Before I use this app, I would go to do like some tricep push downs, and I'm like, did I do 10 pounds last time or 50 pounds? And then you're like sitting there figuring out what weight you need to be using. This also gives you the little nudge to be like, okay, I did 55 pounds on this last time, maybe I'll do 60 pounds on this today. And you can kind of progressively overload that way. It also has a fun feature like a warm-up set, a drop set. When I said I like to do 3 working sets, that means 3 sets at like a reasonable weight. A warm-up set is just to kind of get your body moving a little bit. You're not pushing to failure. And then you can record how many pounds you used and then also how many reps. And then you can click done, and then it has an automatic rest timer and literally sends you a notification when you're done with your rest, so that you know, hey, I just finished this set and I have a minute and a half until my next one. Then it tells you your rest is done. It's time to move on. So you don't have to like set a timer automatically. How you do that is you just go to the 3 dots at the top right corner, and you can add a bunch of things into your workout. You can add a note, add a warm-up set, then you can add the auto rest timer and select how long you do that. I usually do 1:30 or 2 minutes, and that is it. And let's say you need to switch up your workout for some reason. Again, I just go to those 3 dots and I click replace exercise. Let's say instead of a barbell overhead press, I had to do like a seated overhead press. Let's say I had to do a dumbbell overhead press instead. See, it told me I was ready to go. And then you just go ahead and replace the exercise, and it is that easy. So I highly recommend this app. It's literally a free app, by the way. This is totally free. I do have the premium version because I've been using it for so many years. I think you just pay like a one-time fee to get the premium version. Like I don't pay monthly, but this is just the best app. You can save all of the templates that I use for my workouts so that you can do them yourself and you don't even have to think about it. I did create all of these workouts myself, by the way. Quickly touching on warm-ups before my exercises. So honestly, before my lifts, I don't warm up too much. I just do a little bit. If I have time, I'll do a 5-minute treadmill walk just to kind of get the blood flowing a little bit. And then I just do a little bit of band work for my upper body just to kind of get my shoulders moving. I like to work on rotational movements for my warm-up just to kind of get my spine and my back moving as well. And then always for my first upper body exercise, I do usually start at a lighter weight just to get one warm-up set in before going into my heaviest working sets. Lower body, I do a little bit more mobility. I do a lot of leg swings, a lot of hip opening, especially for my runs. I definitely work on this as well. Okay, getting into the workouts themselves, I'm going to be sharing 2 push focused full body days and then 2 pull focused. And how I like to structure them is on week 1, I'll do push, pull, push. And then on week 2, I'll do pull, push, pull. So week 1, we have 2 push days. In week 2, we have 2 pull days. But over the 2-week period, you're doing the same amount of push days and pull days, so it all works out. People get really stressed on my Instagram when I post what workouts I did for the week and I did 2 pull days and 1 push day. They're like, why 2 pull and 1 push? It's because the next week I do 2 push and 1 pull. So don't worry, it works out. You can definitely feel free to do 4 days and then do 2 of each though. That also works. That's what I did for years. Some other new things I've implemented into my workout routine. Every time I move gyms, my workouts switch up a little bit because they have different equipment that I may prefer to use or not use. So feel free to modify this. You might not have some of the equipment I'm currently using. And in the past couple months, I've gotten a little bit better about balancing my upper body and my lower body exercises. I feel like I definitely used to prioritize my upper body exercises because you know what? Upper body is just easier than lower body. And I would do maybe like 4 or 5 upper body exercises and like 2 to 3 lower body. And I've really been trying to even that out to make sure I'm doing like 3 of each on every day. All right, let's walk you through my first push day. So my workout template for this workout will be linked down below. So we're starting out with overhead press. I love overhead press. This is a compound lift that mostly focuses on the shoulders. So I will do 3 sets of barbell overhead press. In between my sets of doing my overhead press, I warm up my lower body. So for exercise 2, I'm ready to go and I do a barbell hip thrusts. This is another thing I've been focusing more on lately, is always doing my hip thrusts as my first lower body exercise on every push day, because I do feel like my body is pretty balanced, but my glutes definitely don't grow like super fast. So we prioritize the glutes. Then I move into dumbbell lateral raises. This is another shoulder exercise. Whenever I start with a barbell exercise for upper or lower body, I like to follow that up with a dumbbell or unilateral upper or lower body exercise to make sure I'm not getting any imbalances. So if I'm doing barbell overhead press, I like to do dumbbell lateral raises because each arm is moving independently, and same with lower body. I did barbell hip thrusts and then we're moving into front elevated reverse lunges. So you can swap this out with a Bulgarian split squat or just a regular lunge, whatever you prefer. But lately I've been loving the front elevated reverse lunge on the Smith machine. I feel like I can just really focus on pressing through the working leg. And I just feel like the little extra like 2 inches of depth I get with having a plate under my foot just helps with the exercise. I just like it. Then we move into tricep pushdowns. I usually like to use the rope attachment. And then to balance everything out for our last leg accessory movement, lately I've been doing the standing abductor machine. You can do the seated abductor as well. Just something to work those hips, the glute medius a little bit, a little accessory movement. The next workout is my full body push day version 2. So if I did V1, the next time I will do V2. I start with a seated dumbbell overhead press, so a little unilateral shoulder work. And then I move into machine hip thrust. If you don't have a hip thrust machine, you can still do a barbell hip thrust, but I've been really liking the hip thrust machine that my current gym has, and I really feel it in my glutes. Then I move into the isolateral incline chest press machine. This is one of my favorite chest exercises. I don't really love a barbell bench press, so I've been enjoying this one for quite a while now. Then we move into our next lower body exercise. Lately, I've been doing the belt squat. I find this feels so much better on my body than a barbell squat, but you can feel free to swap this with a barbell squat or a leg press if you don't have a belt squat machine. I will also swap this with leg press pretty often because someone's always using the belt squat, so you gotta make do with what you have. Then we do our tricep pushdowns again. Sometimes I use a different attachment. I'll use like a V-bar or a straight bar, just something different. And we'll finish off with our final leg accessory movement, some cable glute kickbacks. I took a break from these for years, but I've really been trying to incorporate those accessory leg movements again. All right, next we're moving into my pull focused upper body days. So pull day 1. The pull days are very similar, but just because I just don't really have anything to switch up my first 2 exercises with. So I always start out with pull-ups. Personally, I do a neutral grip pull-up, occasionally some chin-ups. I do not do the overhand grip. It just frankly doesn't feel right on my body. Like I see Ian doing those and I'm like, I think those are just made for men because the grips are always like super wide, and like personally it just doesn't work for me. So if you haven't tried a neutral grip pull-up, definitely try it. It just feels so much better. I have been doing unassisted pull-ups for years, but if you're struggling to get your first pull-up, try either a banded pull-up, an assisted pull-up machine, and just working on really heavy lat pull downs. And how I got my first pull-up, me and my friends were at the dental school gym and I saw this guy do a pull-up and I was like, I'm gonna try one. And guess what? I literally just jumped up and did my first pull-up right then and there. And I never thought I was going to be able to do that. So just try one. You may surprise yourself. I really don't think I'm like that strong, but I can do pull-ups like nobody's business. Pull-ups, I just do 3 sets, as many reps as possible. Some days I can do 7 or 8 reps. Some days I can literally do 3. So just literally until failure. Next exercise, I do my deadlifts. I always do sumo deadlifts. That's just what feels best on me. I definitely recommend trying both conventional deadlifts and sumo deadlifts. Sumo deadlifts, your legs are just out a little bit wider and pointed outwards. Deadlifts are probably the most important exercise I do every week. They really just make my whole body feel so much better. I was dealing with a back injury several years ago, and strengthening my entire back with deadlifts has literally healed me. My back feels so much better now. Lately, I've been using the seated row machine, but you can also do a seated cable row. For years, I neglected hamstrings, like literally didn't train hamstrings at all. Don't be like me, train your hamstrings. So I've been a lot better about incorporating hamstring exercises. The next lower body exercise I do is a Romanian deadlift. I've been preferring barbell, but I try to do barbell one day, dumbbell another day. Romanian deadlifts are definitely more of a hamstring focused exercise rather than regular deadlifts or kind of your entire posterior chain. I'm not going into detail on how to do every single one of these exercises because again, I'm not a personal trainer. Then we move into bicep curls. Normally I do dumbbell bicep curls, but sometimes I do cable, sometimes I do barbell. And then so that we're even, we did 3 upper body. We have to do our 3rd lower body exercise. Lately I've been doing the assisted Nordic hamstring curls. This is like my favorite new machine at the gym. But if you don't have a machine like this, I would just swap this out with like a lying leg curl machine. Then we have pull day version 2. Again, very similar to pull day V1. We start with pull-ups, we move on to sumo deadlifts. And then I do a lat pull down. So I'll either do a cable lat pull down or I'll do a machine lat pull down. Not all machine lat pull downs are built the same. At my last gym, I hated how the machine lat pull down felt, but at my current gym, it feels a lot better. It just kind of depends how wide everything's placed apart. But lately I've been liking the machine lat pull downs. Then I move into my dumbbell Romanian deadlifts. Again, I don't like these as much, but I still do them. Next, I'll move into face pulls. These hit your rear delts, which are technically part of pull day as well. There's also a rear delt machine that I'll occasionally use. And then we finish up with leg curls. You can do any leg curls, but lately I've been liking my kneeling unilateral leg curl. I haven't seen this at every gym, but my last 2 gyms have had this machine and it's really nice because again, I like to do those unilateral movements. And those are all 4 of my workout days. If I'm really in a rush, occasionally I'll skip my last 1 to 2 exercises, or sometimes I need to switch up the order of the exercises if someone's on the machine that I need. I don't wait around for it because I gotta be in and out. So definitely being flexible with your workouts will help. And if I straight up can't do like machine hip thrusts one day, I just have to do the barbell ones. And that's okay. So that's my lifting routine. Moving on to just quickly touch on my running routine. Again, I did do a running journey video not that long ago. So I started running around last May, kind of on and off. Took a break from running basically the entire month of December due to an injury. Now that I'm feeling better, I started up with running again in January. I started out with a 1 run per week and felt like I wasn't improving very quickly. So now I've been doing 2 runs per week, which is what I've always kind of aimed to do. And I'm finally improving a lot more. I am not really running for any sort of goal right now. I simply just want running to be a little bit easier. I want to overall increase my pace a little bit over time. I'd like to be able to run like a 10-minute mile consistently. Right now we're at like 11 to 12 minutes and that's okay. My first run of the week, I try to go for a slightly longer run. Yesterday I ran 5 miles and tried to keep my heart rate a little bit lower. So this is going to be like my longer slow run day. And then my second run of the week, I tend to just do like a 3-mile run and try to work on my speed a little bit more. So maybe closer to like an 11-minute pace. I don't know, I feel like I've been improving lately. I might even be able to do a sub 11-minute pace this week. We'll see. But overall, I'm very proud of myself with the running journey because just a year ago, I couldn't even run 1 full mile without stopping. And yesterday I just ran 5 miles at like an 11:40 pace without stopping. And if you asked me a year ago, I simply just wouldn't have believed you. So I truly have seen so much improvement and honestly, I'm very proud of myself because I never thought I would be a runner. All right, quickly touching on my last workout day of the week, which is my solidcore class. I started taking solidcore last December and I honestly kind of got hooked on it. I loved how my core felt afterwards. Solidcore is a strength-based workout class. This is not sponsored, by the way. I don't know why it would be, but like sometimes people think things are sponsored when I like things. Anyways, solidcore is a strength-based workout class that's on a reformer. So it looks like it could be Pilates, but it's not Pilates. It's also not Legree either. It just simply is on a reformer. So it's very low impact. You're doing a lot of very slow movements, but it still is like a strength training workout. I just think it's a nice alternative to my normal workouts. I work out muscles that I don't always work out in my normal routine. routine, it really forces me to train my core, my obliques, and just all of that a lot more, because core is definitely something that I would neglect training, because after you do like a full hour-long workout, who really wants to go like do some abs afterwards? Not me. I'm not a big workout class girly, but I've been loving solid core. I just go once a week, and again, it's like my little treat, you know? I finish my week and I'm like, oh, I get to go to solid core tomorrow and, you know, have a little class with the girlies. I don't go with any friends, I go with myself, but you know, I get to like dress up in my little Pilates core outfit. Like I treat it as like a full experience. So that is it for my workout routine. If you take some inspiration from that, great. In terms of structuring my days, I try to structure them around my work schedule, although I do always try to work out in the mornings. I'm not an afternoon workout girly. If I don't work out in the morning, I'm not working out that day. Simple as that. But I do try to space out my runs at least 2 to 3 days apart. And then my lifts, let's say I do a push day and then a pull day after that. Maybe my next day is a run and then solid core and then rest and then another lifting workout, if that makes sense. But it definitely can vary from week to week. I figured we'd end the video with a little what's in my gym bag, because I bring a lot of stuff to the gym. So first of all, I've been using the Buff Bunny Ultimate Pocket Duffel. And if you guys know, I used to be in love with my last gym bag and I never thought I would switch, but I wanted to give this gym bag a try and I have had no desire to switch back to my old gym bag. There are a couple things that I think could be changed about this bag, but anyways, this isn't an actual gym bag review. I'm just gonna be showing you what I put in it. First of all, I bring my AirPods. If I work out with Ian, I won't use these, but if I work out by myself, lately I've been trying to listen to audiobooks while I work out, just because I do get kind of bored of music. And then what I love about this bag is just how many pockets I have. So first of all, water bottle, of course. For all of my hip thrusts, I like to use a glute band. I just feel better using it. That's the only thing I really use a glute band for, but I have this one from Peach Bands. I've had it for like literally so many years. The band that I use to warm up is from the brand Gab Fam, if you know Gabrielle Tongle. She also works with Buff Bunny. This is her brand. She sent me this years ago and it's just a great band, so I keep using it. I love this bag because it does fit my barbell pad. Whenever I do barbell hip thrusts, I like to use a nice cushiony barbell pad. I'll link all of this stuff down below. You may have noticed on all of my pull days, I wear gloves because I don't want to build up a bunch of calluses on my hands that just feel really rough. I used to be embarrassed about it at first. I was like, why is no one else wearing gloves? And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. Also, my hands are like literally my work for dentistry, so we try to cherish them. Anyways, this is my second pair of these gloves. These are the Fit Active Sports gloves on Amazon. I love them because the back of the glove is open, so it's not super hot on your hands if your gym gets warm. It has really good grip, and then it also gives you a little bit of wrist support as well. If you're an Apple Watch girly like me, I just moved my Apple Watch a little bit up my arm, and then I totally have room for this. I did get a hole in my first pair after like 3 years of having them, but these are like $20 gloves. So the fact that I've only had to buy one other pair over like 5 years, I feel like is a good sign. And then for my girlies with poor grip strength who want to be doing heavier RDLs, this has been one of the best purchases I've ever made. These are the D-Moose lifting hooks, and they're basically this like reinforced steel, non-slick lifting hook. You put them on like you would a glove, then it has this nice rigid hook that you hook the barbell under or the dumbbell. And now I lift so much heavier on my RDLs, and my hamstrings are the first thing to give out, not my hands. Before, I would have to drop the weight because my hands couldn't support that much weight, and my grip strength will never be as strong as my hamstrings. So these are the best. I've actually seen a couple other people in my gym using them, and I'm like, I see you. I always have a little towel at the gym as well, even though my gym actually gives towels. And then this has never happened to me, but I sometimes am testing out like legging samples at the gym, or like new sports bras where I'm not really sure of the coverage. So I bring an emergency pair of shorts and emergency shirt just in case we need to cover up a little bit at the gym, or in case I have a wardrobe malfunction on the bottom. So that is my current workout routine. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you found this helpful. My number one piece of advice, if you're just trying to be consistent at the gym, is just find a routine that really works with your schedule. If this routine didn't work for my schedule, I wouldn't be doing it. Several years in dental school, I was only working out 3 days a week and I still saw results. You don't have to be in the gym every day. You can take a week off from the gym when you're sick, when you just have too much on your plate, and the gym will still be there when you get back. You didn't get all of your results in a week, you're not gonna lose all your results in a week. Also, while I do think everyone should be strength training, especially women, because we just need it for our muscle and bone health, don't force yourself to do any workouts that you're not truly enjoying. Like if you hate Bulgarian split squats, don't do it. If you hate running, maybe you prefer just like a long walk, an incline walk, a bike. Just something else. The beauty about exercise is we don't all have to do the same thing to still be healthy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions below. I will link all of my gym essentials as well as those 4 workouts on the Strong app for you guys. Again, it's a free app, not sponsored. Just highly recommend. I'm a big fan. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.